Welcome back to Go Face Gaming. We cut through it, but this guy is apparently still alive, and he knocked out that warthog. I think we fought this guy like 4 other times before. Anyway, this is also sad face gaming or emotional face gaming, but I think the emotion that Aaron is feeling right now is annoyance or
no, I think that's just
tension.
I think that's just a byproduct. I feel like my emotions are just stressed, and so there's not a whole. They're not very vibrant because I've had so. Why is that funny?
I don't know. I guess just the word you chose. I was thinking you would probably say, I don't know, stable, but I guess vibrant's a better word because stable wouldn't really... Stable, like, would kind of infer that, like, mentally speaking, there would be something wrong, but there isn't, so vibrant's a better word. You just choose to subdue it.
Well, I don't choose it, it just is.
It's just subdued due to outside factors. Oh, hi, Mr. Warthog. Bam. And now you made it. Hooray. Bye, Hogrick. But anyway, sad stuff.
I don't know, I wouldn't call it sad. It just kind of is.
Well, maybe for me, maybe not for you, but I don't know. As discussed in the previous episode, I still kind of feel down in the dumps and anxious and all that jazz.
I'm always anxious.
We just live in an uncertain world, and that shit gets to us, like how the world's going to function, because like here in a few days, like the new we're gonna have a new president, and the thoughts surrounding them are kind of scary. Like, I think for me in both aspects at least, but we're not gonna get into that. Like, the future is uncertain, and we haven't figured out a way to like deal with it yet. So really, we're just trying to mask that anxiety by playing video games. And I don't think we're doing that very well, because we're just bearing our souls, like, you know.
Well, I had to just talk on this note because I know I have to talk about something.
Yeah.
And this is all that's really on my mind. So.
Got anxiety on my mind.
Just make it the topic.
But yeah, I've always.
What?
Let's see. I think they're like to your left. I think there's a grate up there. No. I think there's something to the left that you have to do. Get that skelly man. Oh, there it is. But
shit!
Shit! Where's my weed? Shit! And I guess I've kind of been dealing with it in a not so healthy way.
What do you mean?
Like terms of eating, just eating in general.
Yeah, you have a pretty awful diet.
Yeah. And
it's like 99% pizza.
I'm trying. I've earnestly trying to be trying to improve. Like earlier today, you saw me you saw me doing exercises and shit. Like, you walked in on me while I was trying to set up and waiting on you to get home. I did a pretty grueling workout the day before, and just trying to start picking that up again. And you think you can use the claw shot to get that?
I guess I'll try that next. 'Cause I definitely can't stand in there long enough without it sucking me in.
Yeah. But I'm definitely needing to lose a little bit of weight. Like everyone's been really cool about my weight loss and even gotten some messages about like how I've helped motivate them to lose weight, and that was a pretty cool feeling. And I guess I need to take that like back into my own account and just look at myself again, because like I think at my lowest I was like 185. Well, what do you know? But now I'm at like 220 again. So wow. I guess I want to get back down to 180, 185, and I guess in order to do that, I just gotta like just overhaul my diet and just it's like an addiction pretty much. And like just like really like the first couple weeks is always the hardest, because once like of your diet, because once you like get used to it and maintain it, like it really becomes a lot easier, because after that you've got a commitment that you've overcome hurdles with, and now you've become almost obsessed with it. And I don't know what you're supposed to do here. Check your inventory. Doesn't really seem like you have. Oh, the lantern maybe. Yay! Or shit.
Well, fire has to have something to do with it, I feel like. Otherwise, that wouldn't be there.
Yeah, you got to burn that shit.
What shit?
You gotta burn that. You gotta burn that shit. This shit. Take a look at that shit. This shit. Well, duh. I feel dumb now. Well, I always feel dumb. I guess that's another like aspect of my anxiety. Like I always feel like I'm not smart enough to do anything. Like in terms of like that's like another reason why I'm always hesitant to do PM rants now, because especially in serious topics, because there's almost always someone who can address the kind of subject that I want to address like objectively better than I can, and that's kind of a demotivator.
I always felt like in terms of that stuff, you don't go thorough enough in the thought process, because there's been a lot of them that like I watched and immediately debunked. Really, I always felt like you stopped somewhere in the investigation process and just didn't go any further with it.
Yeah, and that aspect is because I think you have to light all the torches, and that aspect is like certainly like has certainly caused me to shy away from subjects as well as that too, which is why I talk about stuff that really I care about, like movies and video games and stuff like that, and as well as me shying away from talking about subjects that people want me to talk about, like other YouTubers and like radical feminism and stuff like that. And honestly, like people want me to take a side, but there's more to it than that. Like, especially there's I've come to realize that growing up and just observing the world, that there's just more to it than what people have presented to you with social media and the mainstream media in general. That's why I don't really have a definitive side. That's why I don't really take a definitive side on subjects like that, and especially in terms of the election and stuff like that, because I know that really the president doesn't really have that much power. The power really lies in the Senate, and really people aren't really informed about the Senate and the House of Representatives to really make definitive decisions, and that's why a lot of them have been there for like 40 plus years. So there's that aspect of it, and then there's just other objective aspects in that people don't really take into consideration regarding other subjects. I guess growing up, people tend to look at least I tend to look at things as like objectively as possible, because I don't really feel like I don't really want to be the person to take sides, but just because of like loyalty and stuff like that. I mean, there's stuff that like I'm a fan of and that I want to succeed and that I want to stand by, but if it does like shit wrong that I don't agree with, then I'm gonna call them out, or at least I have the ability to see that it's wrong.
Well, in terms of your PM rants thing, I think that the way it was made to begin with, there was a shelf life to it, just with the subject matter.
Yeah.
Because the phase we all kind of was going through this phase at the same time, but it was during a really like conceited, cocky type phase.
Yeah.
Where you felt, this is just how you were. I went through my phase like that too, where you just knew more than everybody else, and you were so comfortable with like shit talking everyone and thinking that you had the right answer and that you knew about it all, and you were just talking shit about everyone. And then that was kind of a phase that YouTube was kind of going through at the time too, with a lot of YouTubers really.
Yeah.
And that's what people wanted. More. That's
I think you have to maybe switch back to human rig for that. I'm not sure. Sorry.
I don't know. I just feel like it was made in a sense of like it was sensationalism, and that type of stuff always is going to burn out really.
Maybe try to equip the iron boots, or let's see. Have you tried pushing and pulling?
Yeah, I've done both.
Okay, so obviously that's not the solution there, and that kind of stuff still exists, but like it's really evolved, because there are channels that do the same shit, but like they're over 20 minutes, and usually it's done over like game footage and shit like that, which personally I find kind of tacky.
Yeah, I never felt like it was appropriate.
Yeah, it was like I'm not even bothering to like do face cam and shit like that, so I'm just gonna like get on Audacity and just rant about shit, and then and then just like record like gameplay footage of me being usually of like first person shooters, like Doom was a popular one to talk over for a little bit. And then for the longest time it was like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, a CS:GO. And apparently there's like a huge market for like fucking skins and all that. And like some sort of lotteries that I don't know the first thing about, but apparently it's a big deal. That's just something I never got into. You may want to, maybe there's just another side to where you can go in first. Maybe that's not the right way to go first. And then there's like I try to maintain a life, so I don't really pay attention to all like the meme-worthy stuff and shit that's going on. And whenever I do, and whenever it has been brought to my attention, like the horse is already dead and it's currently being beat to, and it's the car left. The horse is already dead and just beaten to a pulp by the time I get there. Like, that's why if I try to do stuff like sensationalist stuff like BuzzFeed and shit like that, it needs to have a different kick to it instead of just like directly talking to it. Yay, you got a piece of heart.
A whole piece.
You got one more to go. And the other piece is in this dungeon, so by the time you beat it, you'll get 2 heart containers.
How am I supposed to get back out of this?
There's a claw shot thing right there.
Oh, I see.
But in terms of like, how I think I can approach that is with the that console wars thing that you and I did.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen any, instead of just directly talking about it, as well as that 9.6 septillion other YouTubers have done, figured that I could like utilize like the sketchy and satirical aspect of it, because I felt like that was a good video overall in the end.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I mean, not to toot my own horn here, but then again, there's nothing wrong with being proud of your work.
Pride can be dangerous, though.
Yeah, but like in order to like keep it in check, it was like I felt like I did pretty good with this. I think there was a grate there that you can something there to yeah, like use the claw shot. Use the claw shot.
On what?
That grate over there.
Oh.
Okay, that didn't work.
How are we on time right now?
I think it's almost time. Yeah, I think it's almost time for a new episode. So, I guess on the next episode of Goat Face Gaming, continue this shirt.